Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. The Agricultural Producers Association of Saskatchewan is hoping the use of strychnine to manage the gopher population will be allowed again after the federal agriculture minister said he would support an emergency exemption. APAS says gophers are increasing in number, causing significant crop damage and creating burrows that can injure livestock. It's calling for strychnine to be reinstated, saying current pesticides are expensive and less effective. The product was banned for use on Richardson ground squirrels in 2023 and completely banned entirely last year. Last month, Federal Agriculture Minister Heath MacDonald said he would support producers or provinces that apply for an emergency exemption to use the product. But strychnine has long faced criticism for causing inhumane death and for the risk it poses to non-target wildlife.
We're very hopeful that before spring, which is the time to be using the product to control the gophers, that we will have that registration reinstated.
The poison stays in the system even when the animal's dead, so if it gets eaten, and if the death isn't instant especially, they'll get hunted by another animal and that animal will get poisoned.
The Pest Management Regulatory Agency, part of Health Canada, would have the final say on an exemption. City councillors will consider higher fees for out-of-towners using city pools, rinks, and rec centres. A committee unanimously voted to include consideration as part of its budget deliberations at the end of the month. A report revealed a small fraction of people using Saskatoon's recreation facilities come from outside the city. Even though just 5% of leisure cards from 2022 to 2024 were sold outside the city, administration says raising fees would bump up revenue while decreasing the amount of users.
I would like to have the tax-paying residents of Saskatoon at least have first dibs to get their children, or actually adults, just enrolled into programs.
The City of Regina recently implemented a 50% surcharge for out-of-towners to register in recreational programs. One Saskatoon City Councillor is panning Saskatoon's idea of a special fee to tackle homelessness. Councillor Robert Pierce, who has been critical of previous homelessness strategies, rejected how residents were recently surveyed. The survey found 63% of people would be willing to pay an extra monthly fee to address homelessness. A third of those said they would be willing to pay $5 to $9 a month. Pierce feels his residents, which live near a 106-bed shelter, are already paying more for thefts, vandalism, cleanup, and asking residents to pay out of pocket blurs the lines of provincial responsibility.
All these things are a real cost to people in parts of this city that are not necessarily borne by everybody in the city. So if we're looking at fees and we're looking at doing this, I will be adamantly voting against no.
79% of respondents in the survey said the city should support the homelessness initiatives of other levels of government and service providers. You might be interested to find out it's not who is deciding what amount of chemicals to add to Saskatoon's water treatment plant, but what. City councillors learned about the level of artificial intelligence being used in city departments on Wednesday. And as part of its many AI initiatives, the city uses machine learning algorithms to determine the exact chemical dosage needed at the water treatment plant. City staff say this has significantly improved accuracy and reduced waste. The city is also working towards having AI assistants to take a load off of staff and customers. Talk to a chatbot when reaching out to the Building Standards Department. All right, Jeff, have you gotten your AI bots to tell you what's coming in the weather, or is it all natural?
Hey, what have you heard? What have you heard? No, it's all au naturel. We have got our, actually, we use so much technology to talk about the weather, and least of which is certainly not our satellite and radar images. And you can certainly see all that active weather along the west coast of California up through the Pacific Northwest into southern BC. And some of that moisture is making its way into northern Saskatchewan. We do anticipate some flurries in the north, but doesn't look that way for south and central areas. We'll have more details on that in a bit.
A flight from Winnipeg to Saskatoon had to make an unexpected stop in Regina last night.
What we understand is the emergency entailed an engine being out on the aircraft. So with that in mind, we have to enact our emergency response procedures just in case.
The flight safely landed in Regina around 6:45, less than half an hour after declaring the emergency. Some of the passengers were then taken to Saskatoon by bus, while others are being reaccommodated. The affected plane remained on the ground in Regina as of Thursday morning. WestJet confirms the plane landed due to maintenance and all guests and crew deplaned. Mad Canada has officially launched its 2025 Project Red Ribbon campaign to remind Canadians of the dangers of impaired driving during the holiday season.
This year we featured 22-year-old Rebecca Beattie. Her and her best friend were killed by an impaired driver in October 2021.
The campaign has been running for 38 years to promote sober driving or planning ahead for a safe ride home. The campaign to educate the public about the dangers and consequences of impaired driving also honors victims and survivors, providing support to loved ones. MAD says the risk of impaired driving is high because of increased social events during the holidays. With about 40 days until Christmas and Black Friday right around the corner, holiday shopping is now picking up.
The hardest to shop for is probably my cookum, because I don't know what she would want.
And have you noticed things getting more expensive?
Definitely, yes. It's hard to cut. It's hard to cut the kids. I only buy for them, so yeah, a little bit less.
Would that change how much you spend on Christmas?
Yeah, probably. For sure, if stuff's more expensive, yeah.
Like, I'll make sure I buy for the grandkids, but if the adults don't get as much, they're adults and they can buy their own stuff.
The rising cost of living is expected to shape how people spend this year. A new survey from the Retail Council shows Canadians are being more strategic with their purchases. Here in Saskatchewan, the average shopper is expected to spend about $890 on gifts, up 9% from last year. When we come back, a rare look at life on the bus. Raiders captain Justice Christensen joins us from Seattle. The Prince Albert Raiders' hot road trip continues as they have the day off today. I'm joined by Captain Justice Christensen on the bus the day after a big comeback victory over the Winterhawks. So, Justice, thanks for joining us. And are you starting to get sick of your teammates yet?
Oh, no, I can never get sick of these guys, but thanks for having me.
So talk about you guys had the game in Lethbridge and then you made your long trip. How long was that trip from Lethbridge into, I think it was Spokane, right?
Yeah, I think it was about, it was like 6.5, 7 hours, something like that.
That's not that bad then at all. So, and you guys don't do that much traveling anymore, at least long extended trips. So hockey aside, is the road trip going good off ice? Are you guys getting up to any activities or sort of active rest?
Yeah, we've been on our team walks and stuff. Our activations, things like that, just hanging out in the rooms because we're together all the time on the bus, like as much as we are. So we're always together, and it's been a ton of fun so far.
All right, so let's talk about those bus trips because, I mean, we've all traveled on long trips and, you know, it's not very comfortable. The beauty or the benefit is you guys can kind of set the bus up and set your area up. So I'm guessing you guys don't have the old picnic tables that fold up and you got the sleepers up and down, but what kind of accommodations do you guys have on the bus for rest?
Yeah, we got, actually, at the back of the bus, we got our a mattress kind of that goes across the 4 seats at the back, which makes it pretty comfy, and we got boards that go up the aisles so guys can get their feet up and just kind of relax and stuff when we're on the bus. So it's a pretty good setup. It's been good.
And I guess as the captain, this multiple year captain, you're in the back with the 4-bangers, right? You don't have to sit up with the rookies?
Yeah, that's correct.
So speaking of the rookies, rookie jobs, they have to load the bus, all that good stuff. So do you guys have a pretty well-oiled machine in terms of which players carry which equipment onto and off of the bus?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of get it figured out, kind of what operation works and what kind of works the best. But I wouldn't say it's like strategic how every guy has to pack it or what they're carrying or bringing. But I mean, we kind of got it down after so many years. The bus can only really get packed one way. So you figure it out pretty quick.
There you go. As long as you're not stuck with the skate sharpener or the glove dryer, those were always the two heaviest and most cumbersome items. So let's talk a little bit about maintaining. You're on this long road trip. I think it's nearly 2 weeks. So how do you, as a veteran and an experienced player, keep your nutrition, your rest, all that good stuff on a long trip?
Yeah, I mean, it is a grind, this trip, but just taking advantage, like the bus trip last night, I mean, only 2.5 hours, but just trying to kind of lay low and regenerate after the game and things like that. And using like a recovery strategies, nutrition, things like that, just to our advantage. And the food and everything that we've had so far has been good. So the nutrition side of it's good.
And then I'm guessing, I mean, do you guys have even the TV screens and watch old VHSs or DVDs, or is everybody just on their phone doing their own thing?
Yeah, usually just on their own. We do have the TVs on the bus, but since I've been here with BA, we've never had them up and going.
There's only so many times you can watch Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison or Alien or something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me, Justice, you've been in the league a few years now. You've probably played in every building except maybe for Wenatchee. But if you had to choose outside of Wenatchee, what's your favorite building to play in the U.S. division?
Oh, U.S. division. All the rinks are good. Sorry, it's a little dark here. We're in a tunnel. Yeah, I don't know. Spokane is a ton of fun. The fans there are always good. I know 2 years ago when we played here in Seattle, it was a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to Friday night.
And then was it Portland just recently sort of re-got their arena going, and we were trying to figure out, do they have kind of the graphic digital boards all the way around the rink there, the advertising?
Yeah, they do. That was pretty cool, especially coming out for the game, and they had the Winterhawks logos kind of ripping around the boards and a bunch of lights and stuff. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, the ads during the game, they didn't switch, which was kind of nice. It wasn't stuff kind of going all over the place, but that was pretty cool.
There you go. Well, the Raiders are back on the ice Friday in Seattle when they take on the Thunderbirds. Thanks for joining us, Justice, and good luck the rest of the road trip.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you.
A look at the weather coming from Jeff right after the break, plus research into subtle cues from speech that may detect brain health. So, Jeff, maybe not quite as sunny as we had the last couple of days, but I don't think there's going to be much in the way of precipitation, though, towards the end of the week.
Not towards the end of the weekend or on the end of the week or the weekend, John. Well, there is precipitation. There's some flurries in the forecast, but we're not anticipating that until next week, and we'll talk about that in just a bit. But all in all, warmer than seasonal temperatures. I know I've been saying that a lot. It's just a fact. We've got ourselves relatively quiet conditions through central and southern parts of the province, and that includes the gateway to the north. It looks like most of the precipitation that is coming up out of the Pacific. You can certainly see a very strong low off the west coast of the U.S. That's pushing a lot of moisture, not only into places like California, Oregon, and Washington State, but obviously into B.C., and that's spilling over into Alberta and into northern Saskatchewan, ultimately Manitoba as well. So we're looking at some flurry activity there. We don't know how much snow it's going to create right now, but certainly the future cast indicates that that's where that's moving. And then as we see, it doesn't really hammer much of the central part or the southern parts of Saskatchewan. If it does, it's in an isolated fashion. Here we go with the numbers for overnight in the Prince Albert region. -1 for Spearwood and the Battlefords and Candle Lake. 1 on the plus side for the overnight temperature, which is warmer than seasonal. For a daytime high, 1 degree in Birch Hill, 0 in Rostern. Partly cloudy skies in Nipawin and Melfort. Nipawin's high expected to be 1 high. Their low temperature overnight, 1 degree and 2 for Melfort. Now onto those high temperatures. They don't jump up big time, but they're still warmer than seasonal. 1 degree for Spiritwood, 2 for the Battlefords, 1 in Candle Lake, Birch Hills 2, ditto that for Rostern, Melfort 3 degrees, and 4 in Nipawin. And as you can see, winds for some places will be out of the west, 30 gusting a little stronger than that. But again, temperatures a little bit warmer than they would typically be for the latter part of the middle part of November. So tonight in Prince Albert area, partly cloudy skies, 0 degrees, winds out of the southeast at 20. Then it switches around, and here's the windy conditions we've been alluding to. 2 degrees with mainly cloudy skies, winds out of the west at 30 for Prince Albert on Friday rather. -1 on Saturday and Sunday, but then a little warmer, but just barely warmer on Monday and Tuesday. A chance of flurries on Tuesday. That lingers into Wednesday, -3 degrees, and -4 on Thursday. So yeah, so right now it looks like we've got ourselves a slight chance of flurries on Tuesday and Wednesday, but other than that, not much of in the way of precipitation in the forecast.
And you mentioned or sort of showed that the system that was kind of rolling over the top of Saskatchewan, rolling. Well, that's exactly what the Prince Albert Raiders are doing. Their U.S. Division road trip continues, and it was some familiar faces getting on the scoreboard once again last night.
Away from Smith, and he's cut off. Could be 2-on-1 the other way. Far side shot, they score!
Trailing 2-0 after 40 minutes, the Raiders pull out a 4-goal third period on the way to a 4-2 victory. Evan Smith scored again, and Braden Dubé had another assist and another game-winning goal. The Raiders now have the best winning percentage in the WHL at .861. The Raiders are in Seattle already, and they'll take on the Thunderbirds Friday. In Winnipeg, the Rough Riders continue to prep for the Montreal Alouettes and the Grey Cup. Tonight, the CFL Awards take center stage, where one rider whose teammates feel is more than deserving is not up for an award.
BC in the driver's seat. Rourke takes off. No! Stopped!
A.J. Allen had a breakout season this year, but was not in contention. Beat out for most outstanding Canadian by Lions quarterback Nathan Rourke. His play prompting teammate Jameer Thurman to take to social media. Thurman said, quote, "He put in the work, waited for his opportunity, and has excelled at a high level. It's time to give him the respect he deserves."
It means a lot that guys like Thurman and CJ Revis out there, even tweeting about it. These guys don't tweet. They're even tweeting about it, man. They got so much love for me. They're using an app they don't use.
He's had a hell of a season, and I wouldn't be shocked if one day we're talking about him as a defensive player of the year or whatnot, or most outstanding Canadian. He's got the talent to do so.
One rider who is up for an award tonight is Jamarcus Hardrick. He's the West Division nominee for Most Outstanding Offensive Lineman. Head coach Corey Mace also nominated for Coach of the Year, but that award will be handed out at a later date. The University of Saskatchewan Huskies just 2 days away from hosting their first bowl game in 20 years. The last time Griffith Stadium hosted the semifinal bowl game was in 2005 when the Huskies beat Laval 29-27. Saturday, the Huskies will go up against the Queens Golden Gales for a chance to go to the Vanier Cup. Queens went 5-3 this season, while the Huskies went 7-1. Scott Flory says he remembers playing in a bowl game in Saskatoon and what it means to host it there.
I mean, we just get the luxury of not being able to travel and being able to stay home and being able to prep here and, beautiful sunny Griffith Stadium, right? So, not having to go on the road, not having to do a bunch of those things is great. They're going to come in ready to go. I mean, we know Queens is going to be ready to play on Saturday, so it'll be a great game. I know our guys are going to be ready, though, too.
The 2025 Mitchell Bowl kicks off at 2 p.m. from Griffith Stadium.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
A new study by Baycrest, University of Toronto, and York University is looking at how subtle cues in our speech can indicate brain health. As Pauline Chan tells us, that could allow for earlier detection of diseases like dementia.
How was that new movie you saw last night? It was, sorry, what was I saying? Right, yes. The movie, it was good. The one with the actor, what's his name? This is an example of the kind of conversation being analyzed by the researchers. The speaker struggles to find the right words.
So one thing is just speech rate. People slow down, and there's also pausing and fillers like and putting all that together, it turns out to be quite a sensitive index of mental capacity.
The study is one of the first to show a direct link between casual speech patterns and essential cognitive functions. More than 200 adult participants were asked to describe complex pictures while also completing standard tests of executive function. Baycrest senior scientist Jed Melser used AI to help analyze recordings of what they said.
We're very interested in speech as a marker of cognitive health because there are a lot of applications for which we want to study cognitive decline.
Unlike drug testing, which is difficult to repeat frequently over time, he says
speech is a promising alternative because it's sensitive to changes in brain health.
Researchers hope this will eventually become an easy and accurate way to track cognitive decline in both normal aging as well as diseases like dementia.
People often ask me, should I do crossword puzzles? Should I learn a language? And I say those things help, but not nearly as much as a bit of physical exercise. That's probably the number one thing you can do for your brain.
Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Brought to you by Saskatchewan Union of Nurses. Thank you to Saskatchewan's 11,000 registered nurses.
Numbers 2, 3, and 4 on that list, Jeff, puns, palindromes, and alliterations.
Here, Mr. Speaker, I concur.
There you go. Well, let's finish off with a little bit of fun. A Russian tech company unveiled the country's first humanoid robot powered by, you guessed it, artificial intelligence. And its debut was a knockout. Must have been the 16th round because they had the Rocky theme song going. The robot marched out onto the stage before stumbling and going down for the count. Stagehands obviously tried to do a curtain call as the robot was tended to. The developers say the droid is capable of 3 basic human functions: moving on its feet, manipulating objects, and communicating. Well, wonder what it would say right after that one.
I'd say, welcome to the gulag. There you go. See you guys.
Oops.
And those scientists were never seen again.
Thanks so much for watching.